Chapter 20. Out of Focus.
Everything seemed out of focus. Joseph Weinstein mumbled to himself. His life was out of focus. His mind was out of focus. The old Timex wristwatch ticked, each second dragging him closer to something he couldn't quite name but felt in his bones. I know that this is the end. The alley was quiet except for the metallic rattling of a rolling empty beer can. The wind pressed hard against the night, strong and unyielding. Joseph knew better than to ignore the feeling in his gut. The kind of feeling that told a man his fate was about to catch up with him. Like every man, he had made mistakes. Big ones. Decades ago, he had been a soldier, the one honorable thing that caused pride in himself. Even years after the uniform had succumbed to dry rot, he still felt the pride that memories from the time had preserved. He exhaled through his nose and took another slow sniff of the night's air. His time was running out, and he knew it. Joseph sat still, staring at the graffiti-stained brick wall before him. His breath suddenly too shallow, his pulse hammering in his ears. He knew who it was. He didn't need to check. Death always had a way of showing up when a man was too tired to fight it anymore. Slowly, he rose from his makeshift seat. An old milk crate. The ache in his knees reminding him of just how many years had passed. And then there was the man. The red hair, the ponytail, the devil himself. For a long second, neither of them spoke. Joseph swallowed hard, his throat dry as dust. He had known this moment would come, had tried to prepare for it. But there were some things a man could never truly prepare for. "You found me," Joseph finally rasped, his voice barely more than a whisper. The red-haired man tilted his head slightly, his face unreadable. "You didn't make it easy." Joseph chuckled, but there was no humor in it. "Never figured I'd be hiding at this age." The man stepped forward, just enough for Joseph to see the weight of intent in his eyes. It wasn't anger. It wasn't even cruelty. It was something worse. Certainty. Joseph sighed, stepping backwards without invitation, knowing the man would follow. The red-haired man said nothing. Joseph exhaled, shaking his head with a small smile. "You know, I've lived long enough to understand how these things go. An old war dog like me, we don't get happy endings." He stared into his glass. "But tell me something. Do you even know why you're here?" The man's jaw tightened, but he remained silent. Joseph took another step backwards. "Someone sent you, didn't they? Someone with old grudges, old scars." He let out a dry chuckle. "Or maybe they're just settling something personal." A long silence stretched between them. Then, finally, the red-haired man spoke. "It doesn't matter." Joseph let the words settle, nodding slowly. "No, I suppose it doesn't." His fingers traced the rim of his glass, and for a brief moment, he thought of the things he would never get to say, the people he would never see again. Regret was a funny thing. It didn't come all at once. It crept up on a man inch by inch until he realized it had been living inside him all along. The red-haired man took a step closer. Sweat beaded on Joseph's forehead, rolling down his temples like hard rain on an old tin shed. The salt stung his eyes, turning the world into a blur. His body felt weak, too frail to fight, too slow to run. And then he saw it. The flash of metal. Joseph Weinstein closed his eyes. He had lived long enough. Fate always wins.